Hey. Hey, you. Hey, you. Hey, you. Yeah, hey. Happy Sunday, everybody. It's Mark Vogt with VOGTLAND Outdoors. We're headed back to Silver Spring State Park to finish my second video. There's one that I wanted to do yesterday, couldn't. I'm actually not doing that one. I'm doing a different one. I was looking at my comments on my channel last night, and somebody mentioned that he liked my method, but saw a shortcoming being that for, that for short distances you couldn't put point on. You had to shoot actually below your target point. And all I could do is politely correct him that that's absolutely not true. With the VOGTLAND shooting method and with VOGTLAND string walking, making it simple, you can use straight walking to absolutely put point on all the way down to 5 meters. You're point on at 5 meters. You just have to increase the gap, the gap between the nocking point of the arrow and your drawing point of your finger. By increasing that gap, but always anchoring under your chin, what you're effectively doing is raising the rear of the arrow up, 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 which means the tip goes down, 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 which means it shoots shorter distances. So that's what we're going to show today. We're going to shoot from 20 meters in, 20, 15, 10, 5. That's what we're going to go see today. So let's head out to Silver Spring State Park. We're headed south on Route 31 in Aurora, Illinois. See you out there. Okay, we're going to try to do this in a couple of cuts because I never thought I would have to actually teach this particular method, but you guys remember that the VOGTLAND shooting method is also comprised of the VOGTLAND string walking method, and the VOGTLAND string walking method requires that you simply remember 2 numbers, and that's all you need to be able to shoot from 5 meters all the way out to 120 meters to calculate what that gap is. You just need 2 numbers and they're super easy to remember. One of them is your 20 meter gap. What's the gap? What's the gap between the nocking point of the arrow and the drawing point of your finger? And remember, that's going under your chin. What's that gap measured in fingers? In fingers, in half fingers, in quarter fingers. What's that gap for a 20 meter shot to be point on? To be point on at 20 meters. It's going to be a number. For me, on this bow, it's 3.5 fingers, that 20 meter gap. The second number that you need is what's your 10 meter interval gap? What's the change in elevation? I'm always talking about to go farther, to go from 20 meters to 30, from 30 meters to 40, to 50, to 60, to 70, to 80, to 90, to 110 meters, to 120 meters. What's that 10 meter interval gap? But one person remarked on my channel last night, it's too bad that for shorter distances you can't go point on, that you have to somehow aim below your target. And that's not true, guys. VOGTLAND string walking method allows me to start at 20 meters, 3.5 fingers, but there's nothing to stop me from making the gap bigger by going down 1/2 finger. I went from 20 to 10, another 1/2 finger to 5. So you're just increasing the gap here between the nocking point of the arrow and the drawing point of your finger. By increasing that gap, what you're effectively doing is raising the rear of the arrow up. That puts the tip of the arrow down, which means it shoots shorter distances. I shoot 5 meters point on all the time. Got a little bit of a cold today. We're going to shoot at the 20-meter target, and then we're going to start taking steps in, and you're going to see that I can aim point on every single time all the way to 5 meters, maybe even more than that. So here we go. Remember, the VOGTLAND shooting method is 5 steps. Step one, choose your gap. For me, we're shooting at 20 meters, so I don't have to go any further. I have to go 3.5 fingers, and I've got it. Step 2, you're drawing back under your chin. Step 3, you're looking down the left edge of the string, and that allows you to look right over the top of the arrow. Step 4, you're going to put the tip of the arrow right smack on the target. Not above it, not below it, not to the right of it, not to the left of it. Right smack on it. And 5, you're going to make a small motion release. Small motion as possible, like you have a release on a compound bow. Let's take a couple of shots before we pull. Here's 2 shots at 20. Dead center. Let's do another one. Here's a 3.5 finger gap for 20 meters. Step 2, draw back under your chin. Step 3, look down the left edge of the string over the top of the arrow. 4, put the tip of the arrow right smack on the target. 5, small motion release. You know I don't shoot well when I'm talking. I'll shoot a third one. Just like that. Now we're going to move in. I'll go pull the arrows, and then we're going to move in, and we're going to shoot not at 20, but at 15, at 10, at 5. I'll be right back. Okay, now we're going to move 5 paces in, 5 meters in. We should go from 20 to 15. Here goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm at 15 meters. And the shot process is exactly the same. Step 1, choose your gap. Only this time we're starting at the 20 meter gap, 3.5 fingers, but instead of making that gap smaller to bring the tip up, we're making the gap bigger to bring the tip down by 1/2 finger. So here we go. 3.5 fingers plus 1/2 finger. Draw back under the chin. Truckles, come here. Hurry up. Come on. Come on. Hurry up. Step 1, choose your gap. Step 2, draw back under the chin. 3, look down the left side of the string. 4, tip of the arrow right smack on the target. 5, small motion release. Dead center in the target. Let's shoot one more. Step 1, choose your gap. Starting with your 20 meter gap, 3.5 fingers for me, increasing it by 1/2 finger to get another 5, to do 5 meters shorter. Step 2, draw back under your chin. Step 3, look down the left side of the string. 4, tip of the arrow right smack on the center of the target. 5, small motion release. You'll see those 2 arrows aren't even within 2 inches of each other. Let's go take a peek. Clear. Check that out, guys. That's not even 2 inches next to those 2 arrows. VOGTLAND shooting method works just fine at 15 meters already. What are we going to do next? Walk in 5 meters more and go to 10. Let me pause and pull my arrows. Okay, here we are back at 20, and we're going to count halfway to get to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm at 10 yards now, and it sure looks like it. Let me move you up a little bit. Just adjusting the camera a little bit. It's starting to get windy, everybody. Okay, what changes about the method? Nothing, just the gap. And you'll notice that when I go down, when I'm getting close like that, my half finger gap is now making up for 5 meter differences, 5 yard differences, not 10. When you're above, when you're going beyond 20, that half finger gap gives you about a 10 meter change in distance. But when you start getting in short, that half finger gap, that interval gap, starts to make it's only a 5 meter increment, but it still works just fine. So here goes. Step 1, choose your gap. We start at 3.5. We're going to go down a half a finger for 5, down another half a finger for 10. So there's going to be my gap. 4.5 fingers to shoot 10 meters. Step 2, draw back. This is short. Step 2, draw back under your chin. Step 3, look down the left side of the string. Step 4, tip of the arrow on the target. Step 5, small motion release, and there it is. Let's shoot another one. You'll find yourself varying that gap a little bit, but the point, guys, is this, that eventually you'll figure out what that gap is for a 5 meter shot. Let's do one more. 3.5 fingers. Plus 1 whole finger to reduce by from 20 to 10. Step 2, draw back under your chin. Oh, what did I do? 3.5 fingers. Step 2, draw back under your chin. Step 3, look down the left side of the string. 4, tip of the arrow on the target. 5, small motion release. 2 more arrows within inches, within 1 or 2 inches of each other. Let's go take a peek. Got other people on the range, so I'm going to wait for a second. Clear. And there we are at 10 meters, guys. 2 shots within inches of each other, effortlessly. What's left to do? 5 meters. There's where my bow is. I'm just going to cut the distance in half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Talk about pushing this method to its limits. When I get done shooting, I'll tell you why we want to shoot at 5 meters. In case anybody's wondering, I'm deliberately not trying to hit one arrow on top of the other. It's really easy at these distances to do a Robin Hood. I'm not in the mood to shatter my arrows. Alright, here we are at 5 meters. Step 1, choose your gap. It starts with 3.5 fingers, goes down 5, head 15, total of 3 half fingers. So there, it's a big gap, but the whole point is that it's pointing the arrow down so that you can so that when you draw, you're actually point on, like that. Point on target, not above, not below. Here goes. Step 2, draw back under your chin. 3, look down the left side of the string. 4, tip of the arrow on the target. 5, small motion release. Dead center. Let's do one more. Step 1, choose your gap. 3.5 fingers to start, then 1 half finger, another whole finger, and another half finger. There's my gap for 5 meters. 2, draw back under your chin. 3, look down the left side of the string. 4, tip of the arrow on the target. 5, small motion release. Let's go take a peek. We're already there, but there you are. 2 arrows within a couple of inches of the other, dead center. You can see that the VOGTLAND shooting method, VOGTLAND string walking, makes it simple to try to pick gaps that allow you to shoot at distances well inside 20 meters, 15 meters, 10 meters, even 5 meters. When we 3D shoot, there are times, guys, where they actually surprise us and they put a target out there, a little single circle there that's at 5 meters. And some of you might be surprised. It's not all that easy to hit. You think it's trivial until you realize you don't have pins for it if you have a compound bow. And traditional shooting, you've never shot at 5 meters, but with the VOGTLAND shooting method, you can calculate what that gap is and lay that right in the target. Get your bullseyes, increase your score. Where else would you use it? Out in the real world, where would you use a 5 meter shot? Hey, let's ask him. Hey, over there. What's your name? Mark. Tim, would you ever shoot an arrow at something 5 meters away? What do you think? What can you think of that you'd shoot that's only 5 meters away? There's one thing, when I tell it to you, you'll say, oh, you're right. What's the one thing that you can't quite reach? It's 5 meters away, and you want to shoot it with an arrow because you really, the minute you try to reach it with your hand or something, it's going to get away. Bow fishing. When you're bow fishing in a boat, all of your shots are only about 5 meters away from the boat. So it actually is a viable shot that you guys want to practice, especially if you live in this part of the country. We're in northeastern Illinois, so we're near the Illinois River. We're near, not the Fox yet, we're on the Fox, but what we've got a shitload, what we got a ton of in the Illinois River and in the Mississippi these days are Asian carp. And if you guys ever get a chance to go bow fishing, because you're not shooting them in the water, you're shooting, they're flying fish. These are 60-pound fish flying through the air just because of the rumble of the boat motors. They go crazy. And you're constantly taking shots that are only about 5 meters away. The fish is jumping, you have a split second. Track him, shoot, track him, shoot, track him, shoot. So a 5 meter shot is a very real shot. Interruption. There's one other thing that you can get close to, 5 meters close to on a regular basis, but you can't touch it. And that's a rabbit on the ground. Same thing goes for squirrels. You can come within 5 meters and they're going to stand still. If you whistle really loud, they'll hold still. So a 5 meter shot is a legitimate hunting shot for small game. They're too small and they're too fast for you to reach and grab them with your hands at 5 meters, but shooting them with an arrow, absolutely. Might be one of the most common shots mankind ever took with a bow and arrow, is little kids, little youths going out and actually hunting for things like rabbits to take home, hedgehogs, all those little things. That they're a pig, wild pigs. You ever try to catch a wild pig? They're damn hard. Can you shoot one at 5 meters? Heck yeah. Let's continue. Let's go pull these arrows, and now we're going to work backwards. I'll start down on the other side of the course, and we're going to go from 20 to 30 to 40 to 50, and you're just going to see how the VOGTLAND string walking method, part of VOGTLAND shooting method, just starts to walk up the string, shortening the gap, pulling the rear of the arrow down, tipping the front of the arrow up for farther and farther ranges. And you guys are going to walk away. The farthest shot I can take today is a 50-yard shot. That'll just have to do. I don't think they'll let me shoot outside the parking lot. So let me go get my bow and my arrow, and we're going to set up over there. Okay, we're at 30 yards. That's 27 meters. Should be, and we're moving our way up. What we saw just a few minutes ago was that I was starting at 20 meters and working my way down, tipping the back of the arrow up, shortening the distance. Now we're going to start working the other way, and we're going to start making the gap smaller. That's effectively pulling the back of the arrow down, tipping the arrow up, going for longer ranges. Gonna wait till the range gets cleared. Clear. Step 1, choose your gap. 3.5 fingers to start, that's 20 meters. I'm gonna go up a half a finger for a 10 meter interval change. That's gonna give me my 30-yard gap. Step 2, draw back under your chin. Step 3, look down the left side of that string. 4, with the tip of the arrow right smack on the center. 5, slow motion release. And I can't talk and shoot at the same time. Let's do this again quietly. Step 1, choose your gap. 20 meter gap first, up a half a finger for a 10 meter interval change. Now I'm going to be quiet. Perfect shot right to dead center. Let's go to 35 meters next. Me talking a little bit. Okay, we're at 35 yards. That's like 30 meters. We'll keep going in yards today. It's between 30 and 40. So how do we do that? That's pretty easy, guys. I've been talking to you about making interval changes at the 10 meters, and that's a half a finger, which means if I need to make a 5 meter change, that's just going to be a half of a half finger. It's a quarter of a finger. What does that look like? Looks like this. Step one, we're going to choose our gap. We start with my 20 meter gap. We go up a half a finger for 30 meters. And now I've got to go not up a half finger, but up a quarter finger. So I'm going to go and mark with my thumbnail right there where the half is. And I'm just going to go quarter finger up. There's my gap for 35 meters. Step two, go back under my chin. 3, look down the left side of the string. 4, tip of the arrow right smack on the center. 5, small motion release. Tad high. Let's shoot one more time. Gotta tighten my glove up a little bit. Choose your gap. Start with a 20 meter gap. Go up a half a finger for 30. Go up a quarter of a finger more for 5 more meters. There's my 35. Oh, it's because I'm converting meters to yards. That's why. We'll still shoot at this distance. 2, drop back under your chin. 3, look down the left edge of the string. 4, tip of the arrow right smack on the center of the target. Still just a tad high. This time I'll try to compensate accurately for yards. I'm at 35 yards. Subtract 3.5. I'm at 32 meters. 3 there, and go up a quarter. There's my gap for 35 yards. 2, draw back under your chin. 3, down the left edge of the string. 4, tip of the arrow right smack on the center. 5, small motion release. Nice shot in the center. Let's go take a peek. Clear? The cool part about this method is the confidence that you have when you're shooting. You're not shooting some imaginary point in space. I hate that. Put an arrow right on your target. So if it's a deer out there, so far in the last 10 years, the best shot I put, 36 meters out at Shabana. You saw I shot just a little high. Look how close those 2 arrows were. Look how consistent the method is. All because you're taking all of the error out. You're not trying to force additional error into your shooting method. You're taking it all out so you're as accurate as a compound or a recurve bow. Yeah. We only got 50 meters left at this site. So let's go set up for the 50 meter shot. 50 yard shot, 45 meters. And then I think we'll be done for the day. Here goes. Okay. Clear. Here are set up at 50 yards, 45 meters. Step 1, we got a fair cross right now. It's quartering out of the front left. That's actually going to increase my elevation a little bit. Just want to watch out for that. Freckles, come. Step 1. We're going to choose our gap. Start with a 20 meter gap, 3.5 fingers. Then I'm going to go up a half a finger. That's going to give me 30, half a finger, 40, half a finger, 50. There's my 50 meter gap. Let's go see how it works. This time I got to be quiet because the one thing that you can't control is the fact that that target's getting smaller, smaller, smaller the farther out it goes. Step 1, choose your gap. Step 2, go back under your chin. 3, down the left edge of the string. 4, tip of the arrow right smack on the target. 5, slow motion release. And I compensated for wind that wasn't there. Funny how that turns out. Now the wind's coming up. Let's do it again because the distance looked good. What to do about that wind? I see wind at the branches. It's got to be there right now. I'm still going to compensate a little bit. I'm aiming about 6 inches left of dead center. Here goes. Oh, still not been affected. It's going straight. All right, we're going back to dead center this time then. Huh. Step 1, choose your gap. I feel that wind. Step 2, draw back under your chin. Step 3, look down the left edge of the string. 4, tip of the arrow right smack on dead center. 5, small motion release. Now we have a nice shot. A little high, a little left of the bag, but it's on. Let's shoot one more out there. Step 1, choose your gap. 3.5 fingers to start. Up a half, up a half, up a half is going to add 30 yards on to a 20-meter shot. That's going to give me 50. Step 2, draw back under your chin. 3, look down the left edge of the string. 4, tip of the arrow right smack on the center. 5, small motion release. Heated that sound. That time the wind did affect it. Step 1, choose your gap. I'm working backwards down. It's a 1.5 fingers. 2, draw back under your chin. 3, look down the left side of the string. 4, tip of the arrow on the center of the target. 5, small motion release. Now I caught a branch and deflected. I got one more arrow. We'll just shoot it. Here goes. Nice shot in the center when I'm not talking. Let's go look at it. Clear. How many videos have I made? I can never talk and shoot at the same time. But what you guys are seeing is that VOGTLAND string walking method, just those 2 simple numbers, just got done clearing me all the way from 5 meters out to 50. And there's nothing that stops it from going to 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110 meters. The target's got to get bigger, but you'll see a couple of decent shots right here. And it is windy. You can see the wind here. So I had a few shots go astray, but that's not bad. Hope you guys found that useful. I don't think there's anything else I can do. This is Mark Vogt with VOGTLAND Outdoors. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and we'll see you out there. Bye. Cut.